Welcome back, viewers. Guard17 here, and today we're going to be doing a Devcom on my latest map, Mini-GerZion. First of all, that's how you say it. It's GerZion, like that. It does look a little confusing, but that's how it's pronounced. So, anyways, I want to jump into this and like make a Devcom because that's what I want to talk about, how this map is going to go. And originally Blitzek was going to join me, like he wanted to join in and like do a co-op Devcom kind of thing. I didn't know how that was gonna work out, but problems happened and we didn't do it all the way and we kind of scrapped it. So I decided I'm just gonna do it single player and solo, because I kind of did the majority of the work and they kind of, Blitzek and Zhao, or we could just call Zhao Sam, they both kind of just did a little bit of stuff, but they still kind of help. They're useful. Anyways, Mini-GerZion is a CTM style map, and what a CTM is, it's a complete the monument style genre. And what that is that you find objectives within the map, and you have to mount them on a monument to win. You have to mount all of them on a monument to win, while also conquering areas and um, combating monsters and enemies, and obtaining loot along the way. So I guess I'll just read the rules here. Standard rules for any old CTM. A little towards my side of the map, but here it is. Find the five dyed clay hidden in the clay boxes in the map. Find plus play find plus. Find and place the clay on the clay monument to win. Use any means to survive. Clay can be made for non-monument use, and do not cheat, hack, game mode, game rule, sequence break, and etc. Play legit. And use only clay box clay to put on the clay monument. Never play on peaceful, but only easy, normal, or hard. And I suggest achievement. I suggest playing on easy, but I'm gonna go and take the challenge of normal, and I'm also gonna take the challenge of not dying once during this entire series. And I suggest if you have Optifine, these are your video settings you're gonna want to have. Uh, but this is what I suggest you have. I suggest you put your render distance to 12 and your fog starts to 0.2 because it looks really nice. And I also suggest turning clouds off because then it could get in the way and obscure your view. But yeah, that's the gist of it. And here are the beta testers in the back. They did help give me some feedback. And here's Easter eggs provided by Sandvoss. And he did do a few touches here and there to like little things. That cake is in case you get hungry, waiting around for people coming in here for multiplayer, or else you're just jumping around and you get hungry and then you could just eat something from it and you go nom. But I'm not going to do that. I also have to say I have a few mods. Oops, that's one of the mods. I have also TMI. I'm not going to use that. I also have damage indicators, and as you know, I Optifine. Those are just some of the mods I'm going to be just using. I just use them because of just for map making purposes, but I just left them on because I'm too lazy just to switch off. But here's the clay box. These are in the map, and the clay is in the chest. And then I put the ender chest here as a convenience item, so you don't have to lug it all the way back and potentially risk losing it. But that is sort of the challenge, but it becomes quite difficult if without it becomes really quite difficult. But yeah. So this is the spawn and information center kind of room where you first spawn into the map. There's this is just for to get information and settings just all set. There's a platform like over there made out of wood where you originally spawn in. That's the natural world kind of spawn, and that kind of sets all the commands and the game modes and game rules and all that kind of stuff. And it teleports you here, and then you could like look around and stuff. And here are the settings you could apply for the map. So this health bar is for multiplayer. So let's say if you're playing with like someone else and you want to see how much health they have, then you have to hit this twice because it's buggy like that, and then you could press tab and you could see, oh, that's how much health you have if you don't have damage indicators. But that's how that works. And here's the death counter. And when obviously when you die, it just has a little thing on the side that goes up progressively. And for those of you who don't know how I did this, I use barrier blocks, and up there on the ceiling too. So let's get started and teleport into the map. So it's a little laggy. Just gotta reload all the chunks just to make sure. Right. There might be a few freezes here and there randomly for no reason. I don't know how to fix that. I tried to make my computer run as smoothly as possible, and there still might be lingering around. Yeah, just ignore them. Just sorry about that though. So here's the starter loot we get as soon as we spawn in. Here's the starter gear. Smurfenyak pie. That's how you pronounce it. It's a long backstory, but these enchantments, they're not really much of a weapon. I mean, you can use it, but it's not really made. It's not really meant to be a weapon. So it's food. And here's your armor. Simple, but useful. And here's your starter weapons. And the thing about these swords is that the Bane of Arthropods and Smite, ask for the skittery stuff and the undead things. But it's wood, so that would mean that it would degrade a lot less faster than the gold. Even though the gold has sharpness on it, and then it's a lot more attack. It's going to last a lot less than this wood one, and that's why you should kind of balance it out. So it would, and Smite and Bane of Arthropods, they kind of, I'm not exactly sure if this is like a fact, but I'm pretty sure that they do a lot more damage than Smite alone. Smite is just a general every entity, and just these are specifically to those kinds of categories of the mobs, and I'm pretty sure they might do a little more damage than if it was just Smite alone. So, right, let's get started. This is, I'd like to point out, this is where you spawn in, and actually there's, something under there. It's not really important, but if you want to if you want to just, see what it is, you could download the map and just see for yourself. But I'll leave that up to you. It really isn't anything important, but no one who I've ever seen beta test it has ever noticed that. So it's just really unnoticeable. So here's the map. It's like a kind of open, semi-open world. You can move around, and it's like a canyon ridge with stone everywhere. Now, first thing is, you would probably notice that dungeon and the wood. Now, as soon as you walk out, you notice these signs, and whenever there's signs, oh, you gotta read them. So, for those of you who are curious and want to adventure forth, all I have to say is that in this part of the canyon there is nothing really important there, and to avoid major sequence breaking to a later area, I couldn't think of anything that would deter anyone from entering this part, but all my deterrents have led to the conclusion of attracting more attention to the area. All I can say now is this: you may explore further up the canyon, but there's no real reason to do so. This canyon ridge is here is a mistake, but it's something I cannot undo. So right, this bit over there, past this little area of signs, over there to the ridge, you may notice there's a little slice missing or off. That's because there's an area behind that I was working on another world to import it, and when I was trying to move it back here, MCEdit didn't load the entire selection, and I thought, you know what, I'll place and I'll estimate where it is, and I thought I was pretty close. Turns out I wasn't whatsoever. So I couldn't see the kind of, not boundaries, but the kind of blocks of where to match them up to. So I kind of misplaced it a little bit, but it's fine because it's not important, and there's nothing over there. So I mean, I can't really fix it now. I can't really cover it up either because it wouldn't look natural, normal, and that's already set back, so you don't notice it all the way. So here's the starter resources. The wood that is full all bark. It looks nice that way, and that's I'm gonna be doing it for a lot more often if I could, and I would, and I can, so I will. And this chest, it's just a plank. Now you might be thinking, why a plank? That's just completely useless. Actually, it saves a lot of people trouble with OCD. If you have that problem, with OCD, and then, you know, when you're making your first pickaxe, it kind of really gets to you. Hello, zombie. I'm gonna use this smite on you, and I could let you just burn up in the sun, because that's how you are. You're not immortal whatsoever. There we go. Some salty meat. And now, if you already played this map before, there's a little I guess you could say there's a little way to get more cobblestone, but there's really no point in doing it because you're gonna just get cobblestone anyway, and it's not like it's really saving on resources. I mean, it's this is the way how I choose to do it. You'll see what I mean later. Now, the thing about this dungeon is that there's obviously like a select handful of resources and mobs, but since it's like the only dark place near you, that means all the mobs pretty much spawn here. And when I was originally making this whole cave was littered, just like cluttered with mobs like everywhere. And it was like pretty much impossible just to get out without dying. So what I did is I put honeypots here and there, and what those are, they have another term for them, but what they are in Minecraft is that they're little areas where monsters could spawn and use up the spawn area. Because like if there's a dark area, monsters will spawn in that area because it's dark. But there are requirements for them to spawn. They have to be on like a solid surface, and they have to have like that low light level. And that's pretty much how it works. But since there's like little areas here and there with just spaces of there's just air pockets, and there's no real way for the player to get to them without actually digging straight to them or whatever like that. It's not meant to be gotten to, so they're just there as like space to take up some of the monster spawns, and kind of lessen the amount of natural spawns here. So the thing about this is that it's trapped. Now the first time anyone would have ever like noticed that, they would always get scared. If that's the thing, it's like it's made to scare you, really. And then you also get cobblestone out of it, which was nice. But you shouldn't. That's what I was talking about earlier. People who have played the map, as far as I know, my Blitzsec, him, he wanted to just mine that bit. This was one of the things we were doing with the Devcom before, earlier, and he wanted just to mine that and say, oh, you can save and just get the cobblestone this way. But you know, there's really no point, because when you get the wooden pickaxe, it's like extra fuel, and you kind of, since you're like using your hand to get rid of the coal, you're missing out. So I mean, it's like you kind of miss out. I mean, so it's better the other way. Ooh, there are a lot of creepers here. Don't let them blow. Ah. So imagine all of these mobs just probably times 3, and that's a lot to deal with. You know, I should make a stone pickaxe. Hold on, is anyone following me? You are following me. Take care of you. Be gone. Now you're following me. And I got hit. So, Smurfs Pie is there's a backstory to it. So now my friend Matt, before in class, this was quite a while ago, we were talking, and then he was like, we were on the topic of my videos, and he was like saying that they were funny. I'm like, what makes them really funny? And then Matt was all like, oh, well, if I was in a call with Blitzsec and like you, and we were like playing something, and then I said something random like Smurfs Pie, which is where I got the name from here, and then Blitzsec would just say, oh, I'll Smurf your pie, and it would have been funny like that. And if I was recording, I would have put that into text like this, and it would have been funny because it would have been all synchronized, and it would have been said at the same time, and people found that funny. So he was talking about that, and later on I made the inside joke about this. So it's just the randomness of just synchronization, I guess, in media. Ooh, there's some lag. My frame rate keeps dropping for some reason. I have no idea why. And that's what was... Ooh, a bow. And that's what was, Was that a creeper? There's like no creepers here. What? Okay, I don't know. So... That was kind of... When I was doing the Devcom co-op thing, that's what was really kind of messing us up, because the server was lagging unbelievably, like out of control for some reason, and I had no idea why. It never did that before, and it was like just doing that at that point for this map. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna take it to single player. So yeah. Here's the first loot chest in the actual kind of outside that spawn area. Just extra wood in case you ran out, or in case you feel like you couldn't break blocks. But that's besides the point. So let's continue forth. And I'd like to point out this lapis. Actually, I couldn't have gone there. I was gonna say something else. This cobblestone kind of dungeon-like area kind of fades away. But it's like one of those things you never really notice, and that's one of the things I was watching these people, these LPs of this map. A few people, like, I'm just watching. It's just me. I'm just watching, and like you just see all this kind of dungeon cobblestone stuff, and then you walk out, and it's just all stone. And I'm like, wait, how did that transition? Because being the map maker, I never really remembered how I did that. So I'm just kind of pointing that out there. This lapis is not necessary to take. It's just there for aesthetics. I mean, you could take it. I mean, it's just kind of... It's just extra use of your pickaxe durability. I mean, if you want to do that, go for it. It's there. But, you can't... The only reason why you would ever need lapis is if you wanted to dye anything for aesthetic purposes, or if you wanted to enchant. But you can't enchant as of now, because there's no enchantment table. Right. Go away, spider. And here's the weapons, right? So I have smite. I kind of have replacements, smite, and sharpness right there. Now the thing is, I made it in this map. I have it so I kind of not consciously. I kind of unconsciously made it not decided. I put in weapons in the map, so you can have one weapon that is more for undead, and one weapon that's for sharpness, kind of just all around everything. And what I do is I just kind of put them together in the same slot, so it can just go back and forth to what has what to, you know what I mean, to what does the most damage on what. And that way I could just deal the most damage without having to switch out as fast, not as fast, without having to switch out as, I don't know what's the word. I can't think of the word. But you know what I mean. I wouldn't have to like go into my inventory, take it out, or like go somewhere else and like, or just improvise and use some other weapon or something like that. I wouldn't have to do that. See, here's the combat gear. It's just supplies that help you gear up. Simple stuff, wooden swords for multiplayer, I suppose. Or if you happen to somehow run out of durability, I don't know what. It's just there, okay? And this leather for if you needed extra armor. I am out of torches. I might as well make more. There we go. Alright, let's push on. Now, spawners. Lighting them up decreases the chance of spawning, and the best way to stop them from spawning is just to simply get rid of them. And that's what you should do. Unless there's like a lot and you can't get rid of all of them all at once, then you just light them up, and then you could, I guess you could just get back to them. Or, I mean, whatever floats your boat, pretty much. So here's food. And in this map, I've tried to make it so as soon as you're kind of running low or almost out of a resource or something, I kind of replenish you at the right moment. As of the beginning of the map, and then later on, I stopped doing it because you got to do it yourself. So here's the Sword of Merg. Yep, it's that. And if you don't know where this came from, because you probably never know where it came from, unless if you played GerZion 4, which was scrapped. But GerZion 4, the starting weapon was this carrot on a stick, and it had this same stuff. And then like I said, I scrapped the map, but I wanted to keep the weapon because it was pretty unique and funny. So I put it there, and it's there. And I'm thinking of upgrading this thing later for later maps, so I can have different versions of it. And it's a nice kind of, because when was the last time you've ever remember seeing a carrot on a stick? I mean, it's not often. It's like kind of like a forgotten item, in a way. Yeah. Random lag. I have no idea why it's. I really hope the frame rate's not skipping or anything like that. So, yeah. This bridge, however, people can be scared walking across it. It's not. It's just walk across the middle. You'll be completely safe, unless there's a skeleton randomly on a perch right there, or anything like that. Then you kind of gotta be cautious. So, right, it's safe. It's safe. So when I designed Wolfox Towers, which is this kind of stone brick stuff, I made it so I wanted to make it so that you would originally, when you're coming from over there, like you already know, you would go up here first, and you would kind of go through the woods, so you know, oh, there's wood. I have like a lot more. You know what? I don't need this. That harming is kind of useless. In multiplayer, it's not as useless, but you know what I mean. So, because it's like it only damages just the everything that's not undead, and it's kind of poison is even worse because it's everything that's not undead or an arthropod. So yeah. So here's the tree for wood, and I wanted to make it so that whenever you first come up, you see these stairs, and then you get to the wood, and you're like, okay, I've got wood to use, and I can come back here at any time and get some more if I needed. But yeah, that's how I want to make it. But originally, down there where that light is, right there, that's where you originally spawned in. That's before I changed where the spawn location is, and that's where the tower is. You would kind of walk in and then just kind of go wherever and derp around, and then you would eventually make it yourself up here. But then I changed it because it seemed kind of weird spawning in right next to a dungeon. So, I mean, like really close to a dungeon. So I kind of moved it away and give it some space. And now that, ooh, that's the thing about this tree. I grew it. It was just a normal one of those giant oaks, and I sheared off most of the leaves and left just the wood. But the thing about it is that it kind of branches over the cliff, so that when you're trying to harvest it, it falls down, and it's kind of annoying to get back. However, when you're harvesting it, it's like you don't need to take that much. Like really, how much wood do you really need? And let's say somehow you lose it all. I don't know how that would happen, but let's say that happens. Now how much? Now what? What are you gonna do? You don't have any wood to come back to, and that's why, you just leave. Take a handful, and just go, and you could always come back. That's the thing. Right. So here's where we go into the main thing. Here's the meow chest. I have a couple meow chests, and by couple I mean 3. And here's the portal non sequiturs. Yeah, my cousin touched upon this name. It used to be portable inside joke, but what this is, if you have no idea where this came from, you probably don't. It's kind of like it's a bunch of text that my friends I came up with. It's a bunch of text that my friends, because like here's Home Sweet Home around the corner. Basically, my friends say these like random uh, phrases, and they're so random to the point where you could say it at any moment and it would be funny. So what I did is I kind of combined a bunch of them together, and I made this entire like sentence, meow sentence, if that's what you would call it. And this is what we say: Poetic salty sponge Montera merg meowford extract they. And you kind of loop that over, so it'd be like that. And after they, it would kind of continue on. It's a long story of how it kind of originated and evolved to this, but that's what it is. And for the people who have no idea what this is, um, and don't really care as to what's written on it, there's still kind of the battle sign used to it. I didn't intend for it to be a battle sign, but it kind of turned into one. So here's the chest. Here's the main base, I would suppose. And you get greeted with these enchanted books, which are really nice. And while I'm here, I might as well set my spawn. Let's sleep. Nope, I can't sleep. Talk too much, but that's a Devcom. That's a point. So I guess I'll end off the episode here. I'll do like not a set objective, but I'll tell you what we're gonna do in the beginning of the episode, and we'll try to finish it by the end, or something close to that. I'll work it out later. But that's been the first episode of the GerZion Devcom. That's been the starting area, I suppose. Yeah. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this Devcom, and stay tuned for more, because there's more to come on the way. We still have to get the 5 clay. There's still 5 clay left in the map, and I hope you have enjoyed, and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I'm going to be doing more because it's summer now, and yeah. Keep saying and, but just so what. So hope you have enjoyed watching, and bye.